past all my fears. Here we come, here we are. Now clap your hands with me. Say you will, say you can. So clap your hands with me. Sometimes you'll feel like you're all alone and there's nobody else around. But we're all here grooving next to you. So see all the friends you found. Body move. Don't let anybody say you cannot, cause you know that you can groove. Shake that body left, ooh, shake that body right. Feel the beat down in your heart and let your spirit shine. Alright, come on everyone. This is your last chance. So I want to hear everybody singing and wave your hands with me. Come on! Here we come, here we are. Now clap your hands with me. Say you will, say you can. Clap your hands with me. Yeah! Here we come, here we are. Now clap your hands with me. Say you will, say you can. Clap your hands with me.
It was Tuschay.
Hello. Oh no, your screens have gone.
There we go.
What'd you do, Ben?
I broke it already. I told you I'm a professional. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a super special Sandbox stream with me, your amazing host, Panda Pops, and joined with me is my co-host, Lucas, I'm pointing the correct way, who is helping out today, and we have Tuschay here. There we go. And we do have Woke Zombie. We don't have Woke Zombie's face, but we do have their amazing voice that to everybody that isn't British, I guess sounds amazing to me. It sounds like a British voice, but a lovely one nonetheless.
Say something.
Jaffa cake. Nailed it.
There we go.
There we go.
Perfect. I was about to be like, he's there. I promise. Zombie's there. I mean it. Right. So, before we jump into the main section of the AMA, the Metaverse is starting to open. Da, 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 da. There we go. And we have an amazing experience to showcase today. It is one of my favorite ones from a recent game jam that we did, which was the Steve Aoki game jam. So congrats to you guys you came first in that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. So we're starting to open up the Metaverse. So landowners, if your experience is completed, you can submit it for early launch approval. So go to this Medium article. I'm going to quickly copy and paste this and throw that down into the chat. There we go. So we've thrown that in there. Creators, you can share your experience info with the world and build your community by publishing your very own experience page. Woo! I'm not going to go into detail about that just yet, but there will be information on how you guys can do that coming soon, TM. Players, get ready for more original content through UGC-powered experiences, which this is. It is a UGC experience. I think
Tuschay and I are all blacked out again.
For goodness sake. Do you know what?
We did disappear.
Yeah, you're back. I am now slightly worried about actually playing the experience and having you guys disappear. This doesn't usually
it's okay.
happen.
Maybe it's for the best.
Yeah.
The experience just takes the
whole
stage.
screen. Yeah. So
The experience is the prom queen here, so she should get all the attention.
That is true. That is true. We should just turn all our cameras off and we only have the experience going. No, not even my face gets to be there. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but why publish in the Sandbox? Because why not? Read it. I linked it in the chat, so read that. But we have an awesome experience that we're going to be looking in, which is The Floor is Cake by Tuschay Studios. And we have some awesome questions. And if there are questions in chat, I've just realized I've clicked there and that's going to make you guys go small. I'm struggling. Right.
It's okay. It's okay. You're doing great.
I really am not, but thank you. So please, Tuschay and Zombie, please introduce yourself to the people that don't know who you are. You've disappeared again. There you go.
It's okay. I'll briefly. I'm Tuschay. I'm CEO of Tuschay Studios. We make Sandbox experiences. Been in the Sandbox. Now almost 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a kick-ass team. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but anyway, I have an amazing team.
I say way worse.
And yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think when Dead Mouse is on, it was just no holds bars. So this is at least a little bit more tame. One of those amazing team members though is Woke Zombie, and he did all the logic for The Floor is Cake. His brain is incredible, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Well, Zombie, it's all you.
First of all, I've got to say it's really weird watching the stream and speaking. Like I have never done this before, so I was just like so delayed and was like waiting, and I'm like following your facial cues, and it makes no sense to me.
There's a slight
There's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. So yes, I'm Woke Zombie. I work with Tuschay Studios. Pretty much any problem in Game Maker that Tuschay has, he comes to me and I will sort it out. Usually within a day.
Yep.
Wow, within a day.
100% true.
Awesome.
Yep. Usually within a few minutes.
A few minutes, let me just work my magic. Yeah.
And how long have you been
Yeah.
doing this for, Woke?
So I actually started it in the Fungi game jam. So that was February of last year.
Oh,
I
wow.
made my first game in that, so I learned everything on the go. I watched 3 Cyber Dragon videos, and I pretty much got everything I needed to know from that. And I actually placed in that game jam.
So what you're saying is you're a savant. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Pretty much.
That's awesome. So we don't need to worry about your faces disappearing because I now have the questions on my phone. So professional
Nice.
is back in the house. So I'm going to ask you both these individually. So Tuschay, how did you start in Web3?
Starting Web3. That was actually a pretty interesting time for me. It was right around the pandemic. We were moving over to Seattle from Oregon, and I had a message. One of my friends from back in Florida messaged me, and she was like, "Hey, have you heard about this NFT thing?" And I hadn't. I've been involved with crypto since like 2013, but I was taking a lot of time off from all that stuff to kind of do my marketing business and all that stuff. And she told me about NFTs, and it was literally the day that I got into this, where I am now in my office in Seattle. That I just started like looking into what NFTs are, and within a few hours, I made my first like 7 NFTs that were Fungi trading cards.
Awesome.
And from there, it's just been like nonstop. We have not hit the brakes yet. And that was March of 2021, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So-
You've done a lot in that time then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hit the ground running and do everything that we can as soon as we can.
Yeah,
Just trying to take opportunity.
Yeah, I appreciate the grind. That's a lot of hard work that you've done. I really would have thought you would have been in the space for way longer than that, but you've done absolutely amazing. And Woke Zombie, same to you. Like, how did you start in Web3, and how long have you been in Web3?
So again, back in February, that was the start of my Web3 journey. How it started is I'd actually handed in my notice for my job. I was completely miserable there, so I saved up some money, and I was planning to learn Unity, so because I really wanted to do game design. It's pretty much what I've always wanted to do. And my stepbrother, he approached me and he said, "Well, let's do the Sandbox together." He didn't stick with it because he was too busy, but I had all the free time in the world, so I learned Sandbox, got really into it, loved the community, and I've just basically stayed since.
That's amazing.
Have either of you ever created any games outside of Web3 or like let's call it Web2? Have you created any Web2 games, or are the games you created here the first ones you ever designed?
For me, they've been the first that I've ever designed. I've played around. I mean, before Sandbox, I was an illustrator, so I've been an artist kind of my entire life, and so I guess like you can have like game design theories and kind of some artistic things, but in terms of creating logic and planning out games, this is my first. What really helped with the planning of that, though, was I used to write and kind of create comic book stories and make TV shows that we never pitched to like any companies or anything like that. So I think the story planning of making comics and kind of thinking of what an IP would grow into and all that ported over to game development really, really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Woke, same question.
Zombie, I don't know about you.
No, I hadn't made any games. I had previously attempted trying to learn Unity in the past, back in one of our COVID lockdowns. Didn't get too far with that. It was just being my mate, and I was mostly doing the art at the time, which isn't really my strong point. But it was kind of like a passion project. It was going to be basically a Pokemon ripoff. It was going to be a 2D game, 64-bit, and I had a few animations of a few monsters that I designed, and it didn't really get past that.
Are you still working on learning Unity?
No, I do want to. It's just finding the time. Because I'm working for Tuschay Studios, and now I also have the Game Maker Fund to develop Metacube from the parkour game jam.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I'm trying to remember
are
which one
doing-
Metacube was.
We are doing some Unity things within our studio. We just started kind of delving into that world, so we can kind of create our own standalone game as well. So who knows? Unity might be back on Zombies Plate at some point.
It sounds like you're an insanely intelligent individual, Woke. So I'm guessing that once you get a little bit more time, you're going to be able to learn both and handle both at the exact same time. So that's really cool.
You might be right. The beauty of Sandbox is it is a lot easier. A lot easier.
Yeah, you don't have the code there to have to do. I've dabbled in Unity a little bit, and I was like, oh, I understand nothing, and I'll watch tutorials. I'll be like, okay, I can now do this one tiny small thing that still doesn't do much compared to like jumping into the sandbox, and yet it's not easy to learn Game Maker. Like, you're not gonna just jump in and just know how to do everything. There's still skill required and time to learn, but it 100% is much easier. And I really respect the fact that you just like up and quit your job. You weren't happy, and I'm not here to give anybody advice, but that's something that I also did. And it was the best decision I ever made. Woke, I don't know if would you agree it was the best decision you made as well?
Honestly, yeah. I remember when I was actually applying for Tuschay Studios, and I had the interview, and the whole time I just had a massive smile on my face. Like, I had never went to an interview actually wanting to be there. So it's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, I did the same thing when I left Florida. I had quit my job of 10 years in corporate and just picked up everything and moved to the West Coast without having any idea of what I was going to be doing. And then that was 5 years ago. And yeah, I would have never guessed I'd be doing this right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think we're all kind of in the same boat. I mean, mine was 8 years ago, but I was in a job that I was miserable at, and I just picked up and said, threw all my papers in the air and just, I'm out of here. F this noise, and started my own adventure, and I've never been happier.
Yep.
I think we should jump into The Floor is Cake. I am going to absolutely apologize to everyone because I am pretty sure their faces are going to disappear, but their voices will stay here, so we can continue with the questioning. But we are definitely going to be jumping into this game and asking questions about The Floor is Cake. I really loved this experience for numerous reasons, which is you actually have a section where you can unlock the levels. Like, if you get the code, you can go in and put the code and unlock levels that you've already done. I don't need to read.
Like Mega Man.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
where did the inspiration for this experience come from?
I guess I can take that question. So I do want to say I give the entire credit to this experience to Woke Zombie, Biagi, Steven, and Mr. Gnarls, who worked on it. I was kind of just the help. If something needed to get organized, I was there to organize it within the team. But they completely knocked this out of the park. The idea originally came from, I saw an Instagram or like a reel a while ago, maybe like a month or so ago, before this jam, that was basically someone had created like a room. This is like a thing that you think you can do in like Austin, Texas, and like New York City. They have like these game rooms that you go in with your friends, and like the floor will do exactly what the floor is doing in this, right? But on smaller tiles, and you have to like jump across this room to like get points and not hit the red things. And I was like, can we do this? Can we like make this game? And yeah, from there, Zombie was like, yes, and it happened. I think there was a few other ideas that we kicked back and forth for the game jam. Originally, like, we hadn't entered a game jam, and I personally haven't entered a game jam in a long time. And so I was like, let's get back into it. Zombie had submitted for the game jam previous to the Steve Aoki one. I think it was the parkour game jam. And I think you got second place in that one, right, Zombie?
It was third place.
Third place. So, and I was like, let's do one for the team. Like, let's like grab everybody on the team. We were kind of in a period of like we weren't working on any Fungi games because we were waiting for the launch to happen, and we were kind of in between two projects. So I was like, let's put some resources into this, and yeah, I'm super impressed by what happened here. It turned out amazing.
It really did. Can we, at some point in the show, can we show that picture you sent to Alex and I when we were streaming about your game a while ago? It was all the logic donuts that you guys have involved in this. Panda, I don't know if you've seen this or not yet, but it hurts my brain looking at it.
I don't think
that's...
I have seen it. I believe that there's a lot of logic donuts.
Whatever you think.
I'll link it in our...
like quadruple that, and that's how many there are.
Oh.
I just linked it in the general chat in here in Discord. But that's why I asked Zombie. I was like, "Hey, dude, could you join me on this AMA? Because like, if they ask me anything about the logic, I am gonna be so lost. Like, especially after they see that image, like, I will not be able to be of any help here. So, if you guys have any questions about that, please, Zombie is the man for it.
You're like, ask away, but just don't ask me.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, please don't ask me any technical questions. That's for my team. I'm just the pretty face. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, how difficult would you say it was to actually create this? Like the whole setup of the floor, because to me, this looks really hard to make, and based off of the logic donuts being everywhere, that would, to me, sounds like it's quite hard to create a game like this.
How do you organize?
Yes, there we go. That's much better from how I worded it.
It's not too bad. I was using the donuts. The donuts, as they are at the moment, they kind of force you to put them in nice positions because they have quite big hitboxes, which a lot of people don't like. But what it does allow you to do is it allows you to space them out. It forces you to space them out, so it's really clear and easy to actually see where it is. So I always knew where I was going, and then I separated it into systems. Like I knew that I wanted the games to be repeatable. I knew I wanted certain patterns to be used elsewhere. So it was just figuring out how to do like a load of these closed loops, and then every bit of logic that was similar I put in one place. Like so these red tiles that are going around, all the different variations of that, they're pretty much all lumped together. And then the logic to start the level, that would be like in another place. So you got all the logic starting the level in another place, and I just grouped it like that.
So segmented logic groupings.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Tuschay, you mentioned that there's a contest running. Is it to do with the challenge mode that's over here?
Yeah. So there is a challenge mode leaderboard right now in our Discord. So you can join our Discord and kind of see if you got what it takes. Right now, I think the highest score that we have is like 114, if I'm not wrong.
Should I try and beat it?
I would be very happy to see you try.
Okay. But doing the levels. Challenge mode.
We did. I think Alex tried on the stream and he got to 99.
He was so mad. Yeah. He was so mad he couldn't break 100 because he had it almost, but then he kind of got cocky. He got caught. He got cocky and got caught. And it was wonderful.
Yeah. Did I already mess it? I didn't already mess it up. Thank frig for that.
I can drop a link to our Discord. It's the Fungi Discord. We have a lot of stuff coming up for the Fungis. A lot of it is Sandbox related. If you want to join us and see what's going on, there's the link. And yeah, that's not a link to Discord. That says Discord.
Discord.
Yes. Good thing I can type. I wonder how many times I've typed that into different chats.
Please come to our... Oh,
There's
no!
the actual...
Oh, damn it. Okay, only 26. I can do better than that. That was warming up. I am not competitive at all. What is it I need to beat? 140 something?
114, I think,
Oh,
is the high score at the
114.
moment.
Okay.
But go for 148.
doing-
Go for 148. That's your goal.
Okay, 148, perfect. So what can people be expecting from you guys in the future?
Oh man, loads. We currently have 14 different games in development for the Sandbox. So most of those are revolving around the Fungi IP. So it'll be a lot of games that we've been working on, some with the Game Maker Fund, some outside of the Game Maker Fund, and all of them kind of revolving around the same storyline. So it'll be, prequel, sequel kind of games, and then some one-shot type of experiences where it doesn't have anything to do with the storyline, but it's incorporating the characters, the IP, and doing something different with them. We have I have a real big passion for like arcade type games. That's kind of what I grew up on, playing arcade cabinets at like the arcade and stuff like that. So I would love to try to recreate a lot of the games that I've played when I was growing up, and then kind of try to create some new ones like this floor is cake concept. I don't think I ever seen anything like that before in the Sandbox, and on top of that, it was something that I felt was fun enough to play if you wanted to just spend 5-10 minutes playing a game in the Sandbox, but don't have like a few hours. So we're trying to create a range of different games, some that do take 5 minutes to play, some that take 2-3 hours to play, and then just see what people like. I think there's going to be an audience for every type of game. But yeah, long story short, we have a lot of games coming up, and some other really cool stuff coming too for the Fungi. So
what's your favorite arcade game?
Oh, never mind.
Sorry.
No, you go.
My favorite arcade game is Galaga.
Really?
Yes.
That's my mother-in-law's favorite game of all time.
Oh,
it's probably one of mine as well. If I could have any arcade cabinet, I would pick up Galaga. It's awesome.
Good to know.
I am bad
a Fungi
at this.
Galaga game at some point.
Panda, you were about to ask a question, then I so rudely interrupted. What was that?
I've 100% forgotten. Oh, is there? So you said that there's some that are going to be with your same IP. Is there some new characters that people can be expecting to see that you're allowed to share with us?
Yeah, actually. So this is kind of down the line, right? But the Fungi is the storyline that we explore in Fungi Kingdom and then Fungi Universe leads to a conclusion where you discover what's actually going on with the Fungi and the whole world that we've created here, which directly correlates to our next IP that's called Nightlight. Nightlight is a bar. It's a bar in this fantasy world that these kind of characters come in. I don't want to give too much away about who the characters are, but the main character is a dog. He sits at the bar drinking chocolate milk and trying to solve mysteries. And one of those mysteries and one of the characters in that world are the Fungi, but it's kind of like a side character at that point. The Fungi kind of go into the background, and these new characters kind of take the foreground on the next games and everything. But yeah, we have a lot of plans for the Fungi that don't really stop with these games. Once we're done kind of creating the whole universe with the games, we're turning the Fungi into an animated cartoon. So the animated cartoon then comes into Nightlight, and then Nightlight is kind of just like, it's this whole, we call it the TSU, the Tuschay Studios universe. Basically, there's like a bunch of different IPs that kind of all revolve around this one city, and Nightlight is a bar in that city that I'm really excited about.
Nice. So I might be I'm going to be bringing it back here for a second, but there was a time when Tuschay Studios put out let's call it an egg hunt online. Can we expect any more Fungi egg hunts in the future?
Yes, there might be one somewhere out there right now. Who knows? That's the mysterious thing about the egg hunts, is that they might always be happening.
Why you gotta do that to me?
Yeah, I think that's like one of my favorite things about video games is like finding things that you're not supposed to find.
Mhm.
And when we do create games, we try to put a lot of like little secrets in there that aren't for everybody. You know, I try to not to make them anything mandatory, but if you happen to poke around the game and you've explored enough, there's something that you can find in pretty much all of our games.
That's brilliant.
And then those are going to lead into a whole kind of Easter egg type of experience for everybody that has those eggs. So if you don't have an egg, try to get an egg.
I want an egg.
Oh wow! So you just sucked up hours of my life, if not days. So you marketing genius, you.
I'm getting better. I now got 53, so I am getting better.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You're officially past what I can get.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
I am a pro.
Yeah, because I'm really bad at this.
Woke Zombie, as you designed it, or did the logic and everything, how far can you get on this? Like, what's your high score? Do you have a high score?
My high score is 85.
Okay, that's
I've
what
probably
I'm
played it
aiming.
more than anyone, and it's definitely not the highest.
Did you build any backdoor cheats in for yourself? And if the answer is no, what is wrong with you?
I haven't. I could probably put some in. There's actually been a requested feature. So there's someone in the Discord that's been playing it, and he doesn't like running all the way and speaking to Liam to reset the level. So I'm probably going to add a feature, and you have to enter a code. It's probably going to be something like 0011, and then it will make it possible that you can start the level from on the main cake rather than have to run over here every time.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And I can probably add more features as we go along as well. So that's the brilliance of the code machine. Don't have to change the base game. So anyone who just wants to play the base game, it can do. But if they want like extra features, like when music starts coming in, can add music via the codes. Could also probably put in a manually updated scoreboard as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That would be cool.
I mean, everybody wants to see their name in the pretty lights.
Well,
so.
honestly, that's what keeps me, because the thing is, oh, damn it, sometimes some games don't have a really, like, some games are really good, but they don't have a high replayability. Some games have, like, a fairly good replayability, but they're not great. This, I feel like, ticks so many boxes. It's got great replayability. It is fun. I'm really enjoying myself. I don't know about you. I mean, you guys aren't playing it right now, but maybe chat. Have you guys been enjoying this? I can't see you guys chatting because, you know, I need to keep these awesome, lovely people showing on the screen. But I am sure Lucas will be able to tell me.
It is one of the games that I've like enjoyed just watching people play it because there's so many different, you know, emotions that happen during a gameplay during this. I mean, I still want to go and clip every single time that Alex lost in the last thing and just make a montage until he wins because the range of emotions that he goes through during that stream is just fantastic.
These sounds that come out of his mouth, if you could make like a soundbite like montage as well. Like all of that stuff, just if you could clip it all together, I would be forever in your debt.
That should be added.
I really need to.
That needs to be added to the game. Like when you lose, when it's game over, it should just be like Alex going, "Oh!"
That would be great, actually.
I could do that. So, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So yeah, we were a bit cheeky, and I added in a special code just for Alex, knowing that he was going to play the game on stream, and it kind of, even though he wasn't actually judging the game jam, I forced his hand into saying that he would put us into the top 10. I put a bribe cake in, and it will come up with an asker. It has my name, and it was addressing him directly, and I was asking him he could have this cake if he puts us in the top 10, and the options were yes or no, I can't do this. And every time he clicked no, I can't do this, it just looped, and it would keep asking him the question until he agreed.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Oh,
I think he hit no like 10 times, and he was just like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, I think you have to click yes, and he's like, what? Okay, and he did it, and he's like, dude, they trapped me. I feel dirty.
So definitely as part of the Easter egg of that, we can put soundtracks of it in there.
That would be
I think that would be kind of
hilarious.
cool. If you enter a code, and every time it gives game over, you just hear Alex soundbite. That would be fantastic.
You have enough to choose from. You could even have a rotating set. It wouldn't have to be the same sound every time.
We just need Alex himself to be able to upload them into the game maker, and we can get it to him. It'll have his approval though at that point.
Beautiful.
I think he'd approve it anyway.
I have a question relating back to something you were talking about earlier. You were talking about when, Woke, you were talking about when you got the job with Tuschay. Tuschay, is your studio currently hiring? And if you are...
Yes, sorry, go on. I've interrupted you.
I was just going to say, if somebody wanted to look into a job with Tuschay Studios, is there a website that we could drop that they could go to for more info on this, possibly?
Yes, let me put that in our Discord. It's tuschay.com/careers. But yeah, it's we are hiring. We're always kind of looking for talented people to join the team. There's a link. Yeah, so if you want to apply, we're looking for 3 positions mostly. We're looking for game makers, box edit artists, and then animators. Animators both in the 2D sense, so we can get kickstarted on our Fungi cartoon, and 3D as well. If you know any Blender animation, any space for untalented people. Huddle Hill, you are not untalented. How dare
you?
That's wonderful. Okay.
I did want to mention that I think someone, I think you asked Zombie earlier if there was like an exploit that he put in for himself. I do want to say that someone has found an exploit for the experience. It's not something that I am worried about because I think it's actually pretty awesome. But if you want to go check out Andy Ritchie's stream, he found something that you can do. Which shout out to Andy, it's his birthday today, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, Andy!
But yeah, he did find a way to exploit this game that I actually think makes it harder. but it's an exploit.
Worst exploit ever.
It makes it easier in some ways and harder in others. But anyway. Panda, you're killing it. I'm watching. I'm getting impressed by the confidence that you're displaying in this. This is the point of the game where I go, I'm doing this too fast. I'm gonna lose.
So I've found I need to get to 30 as fast as possible, and after that, then I can slow down. But if I don't get to 30 as fast as possible, then I'm screwed. It goes really fast. I feel like the longer I stand on the green things, the quicker it goes, and it's very frustrating.
So, Zombie, do you want to talk to them about how you kind of created the logic for this? Because I think she's 100% right, correct?
It is time-based, but technically it's not time-based. It's actually done by the patterns. So you'll get your first 5 sets of patterns. So they all come in from the left, and then the second set of patterns from the right will come in. And then after that's happened 5 times, and then another pattern from the bottom will come in. So it actually varies. So you'll definitely have easier runs and harder runs. Did that to just create some variability in it.
So it's nothing to do with staying on the green too long?
No, that doesn't affect it at all. But you definitely do want to go faster at the beginning.
This is why I'm pro.
Pro gamer status.
Look at it! Look. No stopping me. Where's the rest of the patterns? There we go. See, I'm already ahead.
So yeah, I could talk a little bit about the leaderboard and what we're going to be doing with that. I did drop the link in to the Discord, but we're doing 5 weeks of leaderboard challenges. So it's going to be, it ends on a Thursday every week from this week until 5 weeks from now. And you can submit your score through a Google form. You do need to record your playthrough so that we know that you're not just like screenshotting and then editing in with magical Photoshop skills. But all we need is your time, a video of your playthrough, and we'll get you on a leaderboard. And then there's a bunch of people playing it right now in the Fungi Discord that are getting some pretty crazy scores. So you do have some competition, but there's 5 weeks of it, and there's 5 different leaderboard wins. So there's quite a few opportunities to be able to actually play the game and win something from it.
Is this winning bragging rights, or when you say winning something, is this actually something? Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing sand. Nice, 59. Well done.
Getting better.
So we're doing sand giveaways, Tuschay coin giveaways, which is our fungi ecosystem coin, and then also NFTs as well. So I think top prize for the leaderboard is a fungi family NFT, and then from there we have various different NFTs, like fungi coins and different sandbox assets and stuff like that will be given away to winners as well. But yeah.
So, what was the biggest challenge when creating this experience in particular? What was like the hardest thing to figure out?
Zombie, that's all you.
Yeah, I mean, most of it pretty much fell into place after I figured out how to actually get the patterns down and the sequence. Like, certain things I had to take into consideration, like I needed the green blocks to spawn first, so you knew where the safe spots were before the red came in. Also, didn't want the blue to spawn in before the red or the green, because then you can just get the points too quickly. So once I figured that all out, it just all fell into place. Originally, it was going to be a multiplayer game. We had that in mind, and that proved to be very, very difficult. So then it was like, okay, we do a single player game and we have lots of levels for it. And then I set it up in such a way that I could easily reuse a lot of the patterns for the free mode. And then I was like, okay, I'll just add in the free mode. And that was something I just put in like the last 3 days, just because I could.
Oh,
free mode was an afterthought?
Oh yeah, so was the code machine as well. I felt like I needed the code machine because there's 20 levels, and like not everyone's going to want to sit around and do all 20 levels in one go.
That's correct. I think if you hadn't put the code machine in, it may have scored slightly lower, at least in the game jam. For me personally, the addition of the code machine really made it a lot, not like the game better, but just generally make it a better experience for people to go back to and to enjoy.
Way more user friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing worse now, so I'm just gonna take a short little break. I'm gonna hydrate because that's what we need to do. I don't know if chat has any questions, but they can wait. One of the questions. No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say.
There's a few of the things that happen in this experience, like the code machine, like the leaderboard, the counter system, and all that stuff, are things that I think we've been seeing Zombie do in a lot of other games. I think what this game did is brought all those things together, which I think was really unique and really made it stand out from a lot of stuff. But we will be using similar mechanics for a lot of our games, like to skip levels, to different parts of the storyline if you've already gotten there before. Because I think that it's important, without a saving system in the sandbox, to be able to do something to cut down the amount of time that you have to spend in an experience in order to maybe get back to a point that you were, right?
100%.
Previously, we were working on an experience that was a 3x3 experience, and we've decided that we're actually going to break that apart into 6 different 1x1s instead, to give people that kind of like play state, like different, save points within the experience, because otherwise it's like, who has really the time to spend 5 hours playing a game? I mean, I do too. so it's, but if you don't, I still want you to be able to enjoy the storyline and the games and stuff. So, split that 5 hours into maybe 45-minute chunks, and it's a lot more doable for the majority of people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think I sort of try to gauge with people how long they would want to spend in one chunk on a game, and I think 45 minutes was the upper limit without additional save spaces.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question. What's a common myth about game making that you guys would like to dispel? Like when you're having a conversation with the average user, is there something that comes up on a regular basis where you're just like, that's not true at all, or that's just factually incorrect? If nothing, that's cool. But I ask people this question in every industry, like what's a common myth about your job that you want to get rid of or that you would like to address? And sometimes the answers are mind-blowingly fun.
I think for me, it's not so much anything that happens in the space, but when I talk to people, outside of when I'm outside in the real world, and people ask me what I do, and I kind of go through it. It takes a little while to explain what you do, and if you're trying to tell them about making sandbox games and all that stuff. But I get the impression that people think it's really difficult to do, and I don't think it is. I think that making a game, I think anybody could pick up the game maker and create a game today. What you do with the tools and what you learn, once your brain figures out what each tool does, you can then start planning a game, I think. But actually building something and creating like a simple quest line, or even something that has a storyline to it or something like that, is pretty simple to do. And then once you start doing it a bit, your brain kind of wires itself to like know how to create certain different mechanics or achieve certain game styles, because you now know what the tools that are available inside of the game maker are. So I think that's the one thing that I would say. It's like, I don't think it's difficult to build games. There's definitely games that are harder to build, but in general, I think it's super easy to use the game maker, and that would be what I would say.
Woke, anything?
Skip. I don't have anything to add to that, actually.
Fair enough. I mean, it's really easy to do. It's really hard to do well, is kind of what I'm gathering. I mean, you guys are obviously talented at what you do, but it wasn't hard for you to pick up the mouse and start figuring it out.
No, I mean, I think that was kind of how I got started with it all. If it was hard, I probably wouldn't have been enjoying it as much as I did in order to like kind of get obsessed with it.
That's awesome.
When I first started with the Sandbox, it was pretty much just like hop on Twitch and see who was streaming. It was mostly Andy at the time, watching him and asking him a million questions, and then going and trying to do something, and then eventually we would hop on Discord calls together, and just start kind of like going, oh, you know what I did with this? Oh, you know what and then from there you kind of start like building up a library of things that you know how to do within the game maker, and that's when you can actually go and say, oh, you know what I can do now, because I know that I can do X, Y, and Z. I can build this one game or this one thing, and I think that's really what it takes, is like just poking around with it. It's how I learned pretty much all of the software that I play with nowadays, Photoshop and all that stuff. I was a graphic designer for 10 years because when I was 15, I decided that I would just learn Photoshop by clicking every button and seeing what it does, and that's what I think you have to do. If you're curious about some software and you have the aptitude to be able to like spend some time and get obsessed with it, just click everything. Make mistakes. With mistakes, you know what not to do, and then that's how you figure out what to do.
Yeah, I think that's maybe not that. It might not be how everybody learns, but that is definitely how I find the best way to learn, is to just open up something, start clicking around, messing about with it, figuring stuff out. Sometimes tutorials do, well, not sometimes, tutorials do help. For me, they have to be
the queen of tutorials.
They have to be in video format, though. There's nothing more annoying for me than reading. Like, I love reading, but if I'm reading, I want to be escaping real world. Yeah. I don't want to read to learn. That's not how I learn.
I think YouTube video tutorials have made it so that pretty much anybody can do anything. It's a bit of an overshot, but like, I mean, the other day I figured out how to fix something in my car by just watching a YouTube tutorial.
Same.
Like it's just, there's so much value in having resources like this that are completely free, and all it requires is time. But yeah, I would say that it's not difficult to do any of this stuff. I think it's, like you said, Lucas, I think it's probably hard to build a game that you go, this is great. There's nothing I can do to improve this. But to get to there, I think it's pretty simple, the steps that you have to take along the way, and then feedback. I like the number one thing that if the most helpful thing in the sandbox is this community and the feedback that we get from it, right?
100%.
You get a few friends together that'll play your game and they're honest with you and they'll tell you what they think. That's that's what we rely on in the studio. Every game that we build, we have everybody in the studio test it, and then with that we can have all that feedback incorporated right back into the game before it ever hits the public. So we've had at least 14 people on our team that are all award-winning in their own respects play the game, and then we get those perspectives back into the game. And I think that's the most valuable thing, especially about being on a team. I think that you learn a lot from your teammates. That's what I find most valuable out of it.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. If you can ask the right question, or if you can, all you have to do is figure out how to ask the question. If you can do that within this community, somebody will have the answer for you. I can't tell you how. I'm in a part of a number of Sandbox Discord channels, and there has not been a single time where I've gone into one of them and either asked a question or put out a call for help or whatever the case may be, that I haven't gotten a multitude of responses. And I've never been a part of a community before that was anything even close to that. It's positive. It's just encouraging. It's loving. I mean, there's just so much that comes about here that's just such an incredibly warm and generous. It gives a warm and generous feeling, and it's really cool. So it's awesome, man. I really appreciate hearing that.
Yeah,
on that front, I want to shout out Paul Life Made Me, because I'm regularly checking the Game Maker Discord, and I see a lot of new people. They've got problems, and I think about answering them. And Paul Life Made Me, he's already been there. He's done it.
Yeah.
He just answers everyone's questions. He's amazing.
He is pretty amazing. The stuff that he puts out on a regular basis is fun, is like visually stunning, and you could just see that the effort and the love that he puts into it. So I'm glad you mentioned him.
Yeah.
What else, Panda?
Well, going off of common myths and stuff, what is advice that you would give somebody that, other than, play around, what advice would you give someone who just wants to start out in the sandbox?
Step 1.
Yes.
Zombie, do you want to go first? I'll go second on this one.
For me, I feel what has been able for me to make games that are good, the way I've managed to stand out is I just learn the message system. It's all I really needed to know to be able to make games. So, like, just learning how messages communicate between each other and which particular behaviors can do messages in certain ways. And that's become a lot easier in 0.8. Pretty much everything can do everything. It was a bit more limited before, but with all the updates, it's got a lot better. So you don't even have to learn each specific behavior. You just need to learn how the messages communicate to each other, and then you just pile that on top of each other, and you just make a big system.
Yeah, I would say that's super important. Learning the logic and being able to figure out how those if-then messages send. That's super important. I think my answer to that question would probably be a little different and not necessarily reliant on or based on the actual game maker itself, but I would say bring something to life. I think when you're trying to kind of create something in the sandbox, I don't know if anybody else experiences. I'm sure that most people do, but it's like having an artist having a blank canvas and not knowing what they want to draw. You sit there for a long time just trying to figure out what you're going to draw before you put a pencil down to it, because you don't have an idea before you sat down at the table. I think when you come to the sandbox and you open up Game Maker with the idea of bringing something to life, whatever that may be, in this case, we had a game that we saw in an Instagram reel, and they were like, well, let's try to bring that to life, But for a lot of the things that we do, it's like, how can we tell a story for the Fungi and bring the Fungi to life in a different way? When you have those kind of plans in place, it becomes really easy to keep going forward on an idea, right? I think you get to the point where you say, okay, I'm telling this story from A to B, and then, I can make another game from B to C and all that stuff. And it becomes less of, what am I going to do when I open the game maker? And then you all of a sudden now go, how do I build this thing that I have to plan for, and if you have a plan, I think with the plan and the community, like, you really can't go wrong. You build those, you combine those two things, and you can pretty much get anything done in the sandbox. So if you have an idea of something that you want to build, a story that you want to tell, a character that you want to bring to life, an arcade game that you liked growing up that you want to build, and you just know how to ask the right people, you'll be able to get it built in the sandbox.
Do we have some questions from the audience?
Nothing as of yet.
Nothing.
I mean,
People ask questions.
A lot of the things that they've been asking, you and me have also been asking, so they've been answered along the way. Yeah. Nobody's asking anything.
Well, that's lovely. Okay, what's your favorite asset in this experience?
My favorite asset?
Yeah.
Ooh,
floating cake.
I think the giant cake is probably, yeah. I mean, I have to say that. I love the DJ. I think the DJ is really cool. You can actually get over to him if you jump over the cakes, across the cakes all the way. He's like a DJ in a UFO, like DJ booth. Pretty cool. I actually really like that telescope that you're about to get on the screen right now. The telescope is just awesome. I think Biagi made it for something completely different, and I was just like, that's just so cool.
It's going in.
Zombie, what about you?
I think the animated spinning cake, I really like that. It just catches my eye. I also really like the giant champagne bottle.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you go. That's my favorite asset right there. The intro screen.
This one?
Yeah, the one that when you log in, it's like showing you how to play the game. I don't know if we're going to count that as an asset, but
why not?
I love the fact that it walked you through things with that little flash screen. It was beautiful. It was really well done. It was a good tutorial, and it was super fast. So it was nice.
And did you ever click on the telescope?
Oh!
What?
Nice! That's really cool. Well, I was gonna say, other than the champagne, a bottle, the cherries were gonna be my favorite, just because, like, it's a simple asset, but it's really well done. But I think now the telescope is, and I know that it does that because of, effects in Game Maker, but that just adds a whole new level to it that makes it more nice to my eyes, and it makes me happy inside.
We got a question.
Oh!
Garnican asked a wonderful question, so thank you, Garnican. They said, if you could go back in time and give yourself any advice just before the game jam, what would it be?
Ooh.
For this particular game jam, it would be start as soon as it happened, because we actually entered this one 4 days late. We didn't even realize this game jam was live.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we did the whole game jam in 10 days when we could have done it in 14. And I think a poor Zombie probably stayed up for 3 days straight at the end of this to get this done. So yeah, I think that would have been great. I think my advice would have been, don't even try to do it in multiplayer. We tried to do this in multiplayer at first, and I think we probably wasted a little bit of time trying to plan that out. I think single player, this game really works really well. I think a multiplayer version of this would be awesome, and we will probably try to do something like that at some point when Game Maker logic catches up to our idea. But at the moment, I think that single player is really the way you want to experience this game. I think that would be what I say.
This is one of those games where I call it a single player multiplayer, because even though you're playing by yourself, you're still competing with all your friends.
Yeah.
And so I can see how wanting to do this as multiplayer would be frustratingly difficult with the cool tools as they currently are. Not impossible, but with the time frame of 14 days, I don't see how that would, you can make that work. So pulling it back to single player was beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, another thing, time management is the most important thing. I personally have never spent less than 120 hours on a game jam entry. For the Pororo game jam, that one had a massive prize pool, so I knew that a lot of teams would be entering it. I finished an hour before it ended, and that was pretty much all planned. I put 160 hours into that one.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I had a question and then it left my mind while you guys were talking awesome stuff. So I'm hoping it's going to come back to me any second now.
Was it one of your previous questions you wrote down?
No, it's
Okay.
one that I thought of. And now my brain is pulling a blank.
I do have some beans to spill if we want to spill some beanage.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say,
all the beans,
please.
So I think a few of the people that are in this chat know about the Fungi family NFT collection and everything that we're doing through that. Most of our games are based in that IP, but I do now have a date for the Fungi avatars that are launching, which I am going to announce today. I'll just say it. It's September. They're launching in September. So Fungi avatars are coming in September. We finally got the confirmation this morning, so I was able to say it during the stream today. But I did want to let everybody know, and I'll tell everybody in the Discord later on today. But Fungi avatars in September.
So I already asked this question earlier, but I'm going to ask it again. Fungi avatars are launching in September. Does that mean if I own a Fungi family, or if I own a Fungi already, that I am going to automatically get an avatar, or is there more purchases down the road?
No, that's all you have to do. All you have to do is own a Fungi, and you have your Fungi in the game as well. So we're basically bridging our entire collection over. So all 2,500 Fungis will be playable avatars as well. No purchase necessary.
That is quite amazing.
Much like
I'm very excited.
What collections is it? Like the Bored Apes and Cool Cats and stuff.
Basically.
It's like one of those collections.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just bridging over our actual collection over to it. I did send an image to you in the general chat if you wanted to show what those look like.
I do.
There's a picture of them in our chat.
If I quickly go to this big screen, because for me to grab it, it's going to mess up where you guys are. Oh, they look so cool. Right, let's open that up. Right, let's do that. And then I will just shimmy back over to our chat. And we'll do that. And it's like nothing happened. We're all on the screen. Look at these guys.
Nice.
They're so cute. Look at that.
Yeah, so the Fungis, they're based on the small human template. So they'll be a little bit taller than a Care Bear, but not as tall as a regular medium human avatar. But yeah, and they come with custom dance animations too.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm very excited about it.
I'm really curious what a mushroom dance is like. So
I'm guessing
you have
does
piqued
this.
my interest, kind
Oh,
sir.
the head? Does it really?
Yeah.
Do the legs
I
go
picture
at
a lot
all?
of moonwalking going on.
That would have been cool. I don't know if that's copyright or not, though.
I know it wouldn't have been possible with these little guys, but it would be cool to have like a little mushroom dance where when they're moving their head, little spores fall off.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Maybe we can make a equipment set for that.
Oh yeah, equipment spores.
Spore head.
Just spores just popping off.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Right, my high score so far has been 61. I am determined to get higher. In
Gotta double
chat,
it.
if you guys in chat have been playing this, please put in the chat what your high scores are. The question still hasn't come back to me, and I'm really annoyed.
I have another question. It's from the chat.
Please do. Yes.
Okay, so this is about the UGC stuff that's going on right now, and this is from Ikion.
Yep.
He said, question, how can we have UGC if none of the assets are on Polygon yet. I'm guessing we can't publish anything if land is on Poly. I see what he's asking, and I know you know how to answer this.
Currently, right now, it would be a case of, I don't know how it's fully worked. Yes, I do. If you own the assets, your assets don't need to be minted. So your assets don't need to be minted if you are publishing your game. So they just, it's only, your assets would, oh gosh, I've wasted my go. It's going so fast. So if you...
Distracted you. It was on purpose.
Let's say you've created an experience, you've got your assets, and you've got NFTs that you own by someone else. They would be fine to be published on your land. Your assets don't need to be minted. If, however, you want to sell your assets, you can mint them. Obviously, we're not got assets on Polygon at the minute, so it would be a case of them being minted on ETH, and still, we're not UGC with assets being minted that way. We are slowly starting to allow some people to be able to mint. We've opened it up for Vox Edit contests. Our winners there are actually having their assets minted now. So we're slowly filtering some more people in, but we are still on ETH. No date as to assets are being put on Polygon has been announced yet. That will be announced officially, and I cannot give you any prospective dates because, as we all know, dates change.
Yes, they do.
A lot. Dates do change. So until there is an official announcement, but you have no worries if you have created the experience and those are assets that you have created, then you are able to upload that to your land.
Okay.
And I think people can already go in and create experience pages without having to publish their games, right? So I think that's completely live right now. And when you go and do that, there's an asset review portion that'll let you know what state your assets are in. And if you have them all in your account and everything, it'll tell you have the green light to kind of publish. So that'll help you out too.
If you do edits of what you can actually do, I don't know if this has been fully announced, bugger it. What you can actually do is, let's say this game they want to do a special Christmas edition. It's published. They can actually start doing edits on it while keeping it published. So that the published version will still be on their land and it will be working fine while they do edits in Game Maker, and then it will go through another asset review to check that all of those assets are approved as well. So anytime that you do updates to your experiences, it will always check for your assets to be that you own what you have and go through that review.
Yeah.
Speaking of assets, Tuschay, do you have something else that you'd like to share with the class?
Oh, please do share it.
Any IRL assets to talk about? If there's not, we can just move on.
Guys, look. So I've been a passion of mine has always been to make toys and vinyl toys and stuff like that. And so a little while ago, I tried to figure out how to make one of our mushroom houses in vinyl. This is not that version. This is a PVC rubber-like version, which is kid-friendly. I have nephews, and I thought if I made a toy that they can't play with, I'm kind of a jerk. So I made a version that 100%. They can play with. Yeah, so I made a version that they can play with, and then there's the one that they can't play with. But the other one's ceramic resin type of thing. But these are being manufactured right now. And will probably be available on the website within a couple of months, hopefully sooner. And then we're going to be releasing the other ones after that. But in order to buy one of these, you have to spend Tuschay coin, which is what you get for competing in the leaderboard for this game. So
Tuschay coin, right? Yeah, no, I've got to get myself a Tuschay coin.
There you go.
I
so
like
get yourself
toys.
Some Tuschay coin, Panda.
I like toys. Like that is you are catering to me. I am your core target audience. I am terrible. I am retailers. Just they love me because you promote something
I'm
like
right
that.
there with you. When I was a kid, my dad said that I could find something to buy at every single store, even at Home Depot, and he was not wrong. I was an obsessive child. So actually,
Same.
that's why NFTs and crypto appeals to me so much, because I still have the obsessive compulsive like spending behavior. But what I decided to do years ago was spend it on things that actually save my money. So like when I was like working and I would say like I was like I get the itch to like buy something, I would buy gold and silver and just put that away
Nice.
because it satisfied the whole like, hey, you bought something today, so you can like you got the dopamine effect from that, and then you never actually spent your money, you just turned it into something else. So yeah, and then crypto actually helps with that as well. Like you feel like, you know what, I kind of feel like spending a few bucks, let me go buy some crypto, and then you just put that away and you never really spent the money.
I love that. No, I love that thinking. It's many people know this about me, which is I have a slight gambling addiction, and it's not quite slight, but it's pretty bad.
I didn't know that.
Did you not? Oh,
I didn't either, actually.
Oh, I've been fairly open with it. I'm surprised, but I guess it's not something I openly advertise on a daily. I got in some trouble with it, and I almost stopped being in crypto altogether because it got really bad with crypto. I was on a certain website and lost a lot of money and won a lot of money, lost a lot and won a lot, and then lost way more. I just lost a lot. However, I did find like buying NFTs and just holding coins and even just normal like holding stocks and shares. It's things like CFDs or day trading stuff I just wouldn't be able to do because as much as people are like, oh, don't chase your losses, I do. Because I get those dopamine hits and then I get the adrenaline from when I've lost money where I'm like, I've got to get this back. I can't stop, and that's a problem. Whereas I found with NFTs and just holding stocks and shares or just holding coins, I get the dopamine for buying something, and like you said, you just leave it and you forget about it, and it's there rather than I'm watching my money go up and down constantly. No, buy, leave, forget about it.
100%. That's kind of been my like secret to like, I mean, over the last few years, ever since the pandemic, really, I kind of just stopped going out and going to bars and going, anywhere. And then I would satisfy that like shopping curiosity with like, oh, I'll just go buy this, I'll go buy an ounce of silver, and all of a sudden my brain goes, hey, yay, we bought something. We're getting something in the mail soon. That's cool. And then I just tricked myself into saving my money, which is haha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Aha, tricked myself. I'm super
Stupid
smart.
brain.
Stupid brain. You have no idea what I'm doing. I do want to touch on something that Wayward said. The other way that you can get Tuschay coin for one of these figures and all the other physical items that we're going to be releasing on our website is by owning Fungi. Every Fungi generates 100 Tuschay coin every month, and you can claim those on our website through the wallet integration and all that stuff. So if you're ever curious, join the Discord. Happy to answer any and all questions that people have. There is quite a lot going on. I started the Fungi project about 2 years ago, and I realized about 6 months ago that if you were just joining us, it would be very confusing to figure out what we were doing and what we're up to. So I redesigned our website for that, with that in mind, and our Discord and all that stuff. So if you're just getting started and you want to learn more about the Fungi's or anything that we have going on in our ecosystem, it's fairly easy right now, but I'm super open. My DMs are open all the time. Just send me a message and I'm happy to reply.
So question for you. If I own a Fungi, is there something I have to do every month to collect these coins, or do they accumulate, or is there rollover from previous months, or is it I have to collect it every month? Okay.
You don't have to. Yeah, you can. I mean, it's like previously what we had, what we were doing is doing the Tuschay coin accumulation through a system in which you did have to check in every month. But I changed that in the spirit of I know everyone's doing a lot all the time, and I don't want people to feel like, oh no, I didn't do it this month, so I lost out. We've changed it so now it stacks. So if you missed last month's claim, don't worry, you have it still available. It just keeps stacking on this month's. And then you can just go whenever you're ready. And it's all on Polygon, so the whole everything that we do with the Fungi is on Polygon, so it costs you like a cent, maybe even less than that, to claim and do everything that you need to do.
So just owning do you have to register your NFT on the site or anything like that, or is it just owning it? That's all you got to do? Just
owning it. We didn't want to do a staking system for it because it tends to get messy. People don't like NFTs leaving their wallet or something like that, so yeah, it's what we call a soft staking, but nothing ever leaves your wallet. You don't ever have to even go to the website. If you had a Fungi and you never knew this existed and you had it for 2 years and you just went to the website for the first time because someone told you, you would have 2 years of coins to claim.
Nice.
So what you're telling me is by owning one of your Fungi, I am collecting coins for the future, and if I'm not actively participating in that, I still can collect my coins, and B, I will have an avatar to run around in the sandbox.
Yeah, you'll have your avatar to run around in the sandbox you probably get airdrops and don't even know about it. Yeah, quite a lot with the Fungi group. The way that I feel like the Fungi group for me is what I've always wanted as an artist, is like a built-in audience for what I'm doing. So I kind of I say this all the time on my stream, I kind of treat the Fungi group as like a Patreon group. It's not necessarily that you like bought this piece of artwork from me and now like nothing else happens. For me, everyone that buys a Fungi and is part of the Fungi group is part of like the like a Patreon group, right? And what that means is like I'm constantly going to be doing things to keep those people happy and supportive of me, right? Like because a Fungi I think costs something like $30 or something like that, and at the time when I launched the collection, I was like, I need to immediately give people $30 back when they join, right? So like when you sign up, when you get a Fungi and all that stuff, within like an hour you can pretty much get your worth back in terms of art, right? Like I mean, we all put our own values to art, but like I try to give back in as much as possible. Now with the Fungi avatars coming out, with the Tuschay coin, I mean, we have tons of physical merch and tons of digital merch coming for Tuschay coin as well. That I feel like I'm just trying to make sure that I'm constantly giving back to the people that supported me to here, right? That's kind of the primary reason I'm here, right? Without the audience, really, we'd be talking to ourselves, right? So make sure that they're happy, and I feel like more and more audience members will show up, and that's kind of been my whole kind of grind with the Fungi is that like it's not just an art project for me. It's kind of like a community in which I'm making sure that hopefully I'm living honestly through them,
No, I really like that. That's really respectful for like you're giving back to the community that you're trying to build, and I think that shows in the community that you've built. And also you deliver fantastic products as well, like these experiences, like even your family Fungi's Kingdom. Did I say that right? Fungi's Family Kingdom?
Fungi Kingdom.
Has there been a family in there? Did I add the family? Did I dream the
family in there?
Now it's there. Now it's there.
I don't know. I just always assumed there was a family in there. But yeah, with the Fungi's Kingdom, that's you always ran like during the alpha seasons. You were always running like during your streams, you had people doing races and stuff, and you were really engaging with the community.
Oh, that was so much fun.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it as well for the big 24-hour stream where we managed to run around trying to find those coins. It made me so angry.
I know you'll never forget it.
I loved it. It made me so angry.
It did. The thing is, though, it's like when you really if you first load into it, it does look confusing. It looks big, and it looks like a lot. And it was on a 2x2, 1x1,
1x1.
It was, yeah. That you did so much on a 1x1. Like, you really showed the possibilities, and you did a lot in there. And it was only like after being in it for a little while, you're like, oh wait, you can actually tell where things are and figure out where you're going. But honestly, finding those coins the first couple of times, I was angry. And you know I was angry. I said it on stream. I was like, this is making me mad.
You said it to my face. I respect you for that. I remember you go, there has to be more than 25 coins in it though, right? And I'm like, nope. And
no,
you're like, how could you?
Honestly, it's one of my biggest pet peeves. And in all fairness, you did it in a good way, because they are fairly, I'm not going to say they're easy to find. They weren't easy to find, but they were in places that you would go. Like, if you're exploring, they're in places that you would go. I have played some games where items have been hidden and I'm going to say badly, because I'm not going to say they were hidden well, because they were hidden badly because you just couldn't find them, to the point where I was spending like a couple of hours trying to, and I was like, I don't think they've done this, which is why I always tell people, please put at least like 2 or 3 more than what's needed, unless you've done it in a good way. It still is a pet peeve. I still think there should have been more. It would have made it easier.
I will say you're right. You're 100% right. I think after that game went through, I asked for feedback. When Alpha Season 2 happened and we had our game released in there, we didn't have this mechanic in there.
No.
So at the end of that experience, I asked everybody what they would like to see, and people said, more things to do, more collect missions, stuff that you can do to explore the rest of the map. So that's why I added all the coins in there. At the end of Alpha Season 3, when that game was off the map again, I've sent a survey to everybody, and I think, if not more than half of the people said it was way too hard to find all the coins. So you're 100% right. When we're actually re-releasing the Fungi Social Hub
cool.
with UGC coming up in probably about 6 or 7 months. I still got to work on a few things for it, but I'm redesigning a lot of it. A lot of the topography is going to stay the same, but the whole kind of layout and what you do in there is going to change. But I am keeping fungi coins, and I'm adding more of them for you.
Thank you.
And
You don't need to add too many.
I'm gonna put a fungi in there that says we added more coins for Panda.
Oh, yay! That makes me so happy. But for people watching, thinking about making games, you honestly don't need to add like too many more. Literally, if you've got 20 coins in there, add 2 more coins. Add 2 or 3 more coins. That's all it needs to just make it less. That's my definition of it. Before we wrap up, because I am aware that we have definitely gone over the hour mark now, because I've been so engrossed in this, and I don't know how anybody got past 100. I am impressed that Alex got to 99. Honestly, this has been driving me insane, and I think I'm getting worse. I think I am getting worse.
There's a point of diminishing returns, 100%. There is a point in which your confidence overrides.
Yeah. I've gone past that now. Maybe it'll come back in a few minutes. But while we sort of like just ease on out of here, what has been your most memorable moment, like within Sandbox, to both of you? What's your most memorable moment?
Zombie, I'll let you go first on this one.
Oh, well, it could be one of the many game jams that I won. I probably shouldn't brag too much about that. I think realistically, it was actually it was the season 2 alpha, because that was just after the first game jam, so I was still very fresh in the space, but familiar enough with it at the same time, and I really enjoyed it. A lot of new people came into space. Had so many friends. Just be in the discords, up all night, chatting, having fun. That's probably been the best part for me.
Yeah, I will say one of the most memorable things for me was being able to play the Fungi social hub in Alpha Season 2 with everybody there and just seeing it in multiplayer for the first time. Panda, I think you might have been in the ambassador kind of playthrough when we were all kind of like doing the live ops testing and all that stuff. And like I saw the portal that said Fungi's on it for the first time, and I was just like, I don't think I could take a smile off of my face for the rest of the day. Like it was just like it was like the coolest thing. So that was probably the most memorable. I think the second most memorable might be when I won my first game jam, and like you get the confidence of like, okay, I could do this. Like I can actually do this, and it's not just in my head, or like maybe the doubts that you have are just in your head. You know, that allowed me to build my first PC my PC that I'm using to this day. You know, and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I think Alpha Season 2 was definitely one of the most amazing things for me.
I remember when you won that game jam. That was, I think everybody in the chat when we found out was really happy to hear that. It was a lot of fun for everyone involved, and it was incredibly well deserved.
I had Amy standing right next to me, Andy on a call, with my friend Kyle on a call as well, Mr. Gnarls. And I probably yelled for a full 10 minutes without listening to what anybody was saying. I was like, we did it! Oh my god, I did it! Oh my god! Like jumping up and down, like it was so crazy.
That's amazing.
Forget about it. Yeah.
I love that. Lucas, I'm going to ask you that question too, because you're in here. So why shouldn't you answer? What's your most memorable moment in the sandbox?
That's a tough one. I've had a lot of them. I may seem very extroverted on the stream, but I'm not an extroverted person in real life. And so one of the things that's just most memorable for me about this is finding a community that I can actually engage with on my terms, that, you know, that I feel good with, that I enjoy, that makes me feel better, and just that is supportive and just, you know, helps me be better. So I don't know, like there's just so many, like there have been times where, you know, it's just running around in different hubs with friends and just, you know, it's a tough question to answer. I mean, I started a business because of the Sandbox, and being able to, like, I have a couple businesses, and my first one was that I started, so this is 100% my fault, was incredibly toxic. And it was because I created a toxic environment, but I was I'm a sole proprietor. I'm the only employee. So I let my clients start dictating terms that were, you know, not really good for my mental health and well-being. And then when I came to the Sandbox and was eventually able to start a business here, I was able to kind of distance myself and fire some of those toxic clients and turn my business that I felt like was going down the drain into something a lot more positive. And my whole life has just been better since that happened. I mean, I'm a better husband, I'm a better friend, I'm a better business owner in other aspects, because the amount of stress that has decreased from my life since I've entered here is just, it's noticeable. So I think that the day that I opened my own business in the Sandbox, that's another one of them. I mean, there's so many.
I appreciate you, Lucas. I appreciate you, Tuschay, as well, and Woke Zombie. You're freaking amazing. You guys are all awesome. Does chat have any final questions before we wrap this up? I'm just gonna play one more. Just think, this is why this game has really good replayability. I keep wanting to do one more. The last one I did, I only got 4 points because I'm getting like a little cocky shit. Like, there we go, only 20. Right, this is the last one, and then we're gonna finish up.
This is the last one, I swear.
I can see, you know, now that you mentioned the whole gambling thing, and then I'm watching you play here, there is correlation. I'm not gonna lie.
I can see Panda at a slot machine being like, just one more coin.
See, this is
one more.
Do you have in America, I think you guys call them coin pushers, but you put like 2Ps inside. They're usually at like arcade, in the UK there are like beaches, arcades, so you put 2Ps in there and there's like little rubbish prizes, or you get tickets out and you can get some better prizes if you get a lot. So they are the only machines I'm allowed to gamble on, because I have the physical money in my hand. I'm only allowed to use that physical money that I take out we don't go to arcades often. Like, it's like a special day out, so it will be classed as like the day out money. So I'll get like
walking around money.
Yeah, so I get like 20 to 30 quid to spend in the arcade on 2p machines.
I have a question.
I love those things.
What's a P?
A penny. 2
Oh,
pence.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're like, I was thinking like the little green vegetables, and I was like, wait, what's happening right now?
They're the two green vegetable machines. Zombie, back me up here. Like, everybody in England loves them.
Yeah, we haven't caught up like technology wise, so we're still trading in vegetables.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna see myself out.
That's fine. To be honest, you're not the only one to have asked me that question, because I do say p a lot instead of pence. I feel like most British people do. Like, when I say quid, I think you've asked me what's a quid before.
I know what a quid is. I've read Harry Potter.
Yeah. What? Wait. What?
They talk about quids in Harry Potter when they talk about like the exchange of money.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they did talk about quids in Harry Potter. For a second, I thought you were going to go down the Quidditch route.
No,
we're good.
Oh, it could have gone there, though.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. Should have segued that way. Right, I'm going to pull up the stream, and hopefully you guys don't disappear. Oh, you have. Okay. And I'm just going to see what... Oh, gosh, I cannot catch up with chat. Do you like the machine?
Questions from the chat.
Caratros, like those machines where you try and grab a teddy bear, but it's a carrot. That's exactly what it is. Yep. So we're gonna wrap up here. Tuschay, Woke Zombie, thank you so much. I'm sorry to have taken so much additional of your time. I am determined to at least wait. Zombie, yours was 84. Did you say 86?
85.
85. Okay, so I'm
885.
No, he did not say that. I am determined to at least beat that, and then I'm coming for Alex's score, and then I'm coming for the top score. Yes, I do have an addictive personality. I am competitive, but I got to 61. I think I did all right at 61. I'll recharge and come back to this. Everybody in chat, make sure to head over to the sandbox.game. Go to the map, and it's like the third option down. It's The Floor is Cake by Tuschay Studios. Also, keep your eyes out generally on Tuschay Studios, because I've seen some stuff. I've QA tested a game.
She's seen some stuff.
I've seen a lot of stuff, but I QA tested a game, and I think you guys need to keep your eyes peeled for what these guys are bringing, because stuff.
Yes.
I'll
put a final challenge out there for everybody. Whoever can get 200 in this score first, please message us in the Discord, because I have never seen anyone do that, and I'll give you a very special prize for it.
What's the score?
200.
200. If anyone can get above 200 or 200 or better, I would love to see it, and that would be incredible. Yeah, just join us in our Discord. And we have a bunch of stuff coming out soon.
Lucas, are you able to drop their Discord link again?
Yes, I can. It is right here. Got it, coach.
Awesome. So thank you, absolutely everybody, you lovely, lovely people. I am definitely looking at my stream deck, seeing where my goodbye page is. There it is. So thank you. Everybody say goodbye to both Tuschay and Woke Zombie. Woke Zombie is definitely waving to you guys. I can see it because he's right next to me in real life, because everybody in England knows each other, and he popped round for a cup of tea.
That's awesome.
We're all neighbours. It's just a tiny island.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Panda, so much for the stream. Lucas, thank you so much for the questions and everything. This has been awesome. And thank you, everybody in the community. If you have any questions about anything that we do, the anime doesn't stop here. You can ask me anytime. So I'll see you guys soon.
Excellent. Goodbye.
Thanks for everything, guys.
Thank you. Goodbye from me, and also goodbye from Lucas. This is where you say goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay, sometimes when I do this, I leave the mic on. They can't see you anymore. And we just talk random stuff and make noises.
Oh, that happens all the time. Sometimes I don't do it on purpose. And that's always awkward.
Well, it's awkward if
That's
you
the
start
best.
chatting like absolute rubbish. Can you imagine
Yeah,
you left
sometimes
it on?
I've already rated someone and somehow my stream stays on and I'm just smiling and like watching someone else's stream and they have to message me on Discord and go, "Hey, you're still alive, right?"
And that's how news anchors lose their jobs.
Yep.
And that's where we'll really end the stream.